with the devilish grin.
Yeah, that's 50 Cent just stepped in the building on the Hot 97 Morning Show. Good morning, New York.
I'm up early, man. Y'all gotta wake up now.
I feel richer already. Just feel richer.
You felt that when we came in the room. It was the
vibes.
Yeah, man. The stocks went up.
I like how you talking. I own some of those stocks. Listen, 50 Cent's here. Interview that I've been complaining about.
You've been complaining? Yeah. I've been hearing a lot about you, man. I thought you were scared to come check me. No, I was kind of feeling like he was mad at me for some reason. Like he said it was my fault that New York City, all of New York City,
fell apart.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on there? Like, what is his beef with me? Like,
take responsibility, Fifth.
Nah, see, look. I've never had beef. Look, in the history of me being in hip hop, being competitive with artists and different things, you've never heard me have beef with a DJ.
Okay.
Or any station.
True.
Because I'm clear with who I need.
Right.
I'm clear I need them to play the music.
But I think Ebro is saying at that time the energy you brought spread like a negative cancer.
Cypher, let me be specific. What happened was 50 Cent was our last superstar. I mean, Nicki Minaj is a superstar. I don't want to take nothing away from him. Was the
Why
last?
Why blame it on Nicki though? Why nobody else didn't blow up after Nicki? Like she didn't help nobody.
No. But time out, Fifth.
Okay.
Time out. When you came around though, it was like everybody, because you were so such a superstar and the music was so big and you were so successful and so many hits upon so many hits that other artists wouldn't work with you and you wouldn't work with other artists. So it made it so it wasn't a collective. It was a division.
Yeah. I mean, to that fact, you was 100% correct.
That's all I'm saying. So, and I don't expect you, and see, here's the thing is, you had, back then, and when you came up, I know your story, and you and I have had a conversation, your beef that you had was a real thing.
Like, it was a real thing. And
it was bigger than hip-hop.
If you say this, look, with all of our culture being in New York City, at that point, prior to that, my record taking off, and then we had our Southern phase, like where we went through all the Southern culture and the dance music came and more energy to the actual hit record, because like we have that head bob,
too cool to dance,
and then it's like, oh, yo, that was my man. I love that. Like when you leave, but it's just not that what energy. They would crunk, shake your dreads, jump up and down into a sweating energy going on in a nightclub. So but think about New York prior to me actually coming. I couldn't even get a deal in New York City. My deal is with Eminem from Detroit, and Dr. Dre from the West Coast.
Right.
Because they were going, no, we like real. We want the real, but wait, yours is too real.
And you had been blackballed, though. You had been blackballed.
Like it is what it is. So it's like, it was no deal. There was nothing there for me. Like, this is why people always misinterpret what they're actually saying. Like, because I'm the underdog, when I get to the winning slot, I'm not looking back to help people who weren't helping me in the whole time. Like, who would be doing that? Like, just
I don't think you should have. I'm not saying I thought you should have helped other artists that you were squashing at that time. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you as an artist, I feel like even Hot 97, Hove, I ridicule about this, Diddy sometimes. Just looking back, because you're a songwriter first.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that about you. Like, you're a songwriter first.
Yeah,
and there's tons of great MCs, but they don't make great songs.
I don't think you can blame Diddy. I think you could say something to Jay, because he can create it. He can move the needle himself. Puff, like Diddy gotta stand next to something that's working. So if it's from the South, he gotta be from the South. Or if he's from wherever it's from, he just gotta go stand next to that.
But he makes it.
Be cool.
He makes something look bigger.
Because he's big,
hot and then makes it bigger.
Because he don't even need the hit.
Right.
To continue to operate
as Diddy.
He doesn't need the record. So, like, he had
but do you understand where I'm coming from? Where when the music is suffering because the songs aren't good enough.
Right.
I look to the people who know how to make songs to say, at least say, yo, my man, your music stinks.
Right. And then go,
you a nice MC, but my man, let me just tell you why you not making progress.
Look, we got a lot of artists like in New York. Everyone feels like they have to be spawned from something else. I don't see the guy that is coming, is creating an impression that's strong enough for us to make note of him. Right now, we can't even mention those crews that's coming out of the city.
Well, Troy Ave. What about Troy Ave? Not impressed.
No, I like the idea of Troy Ave. I would want it to work. You see what I'm saying? Just because I want something to happen in the city, period. But in reality, I hear a lot of me in Troy Ave.
I think that's on purpose. I think he does that on purpose. That's almost like a, how do they say it properly? An homage.
Yeah.
You know, he's paying homage to something
I
that
like,
was great.
I like that.
been
Then
10
that's cool.
years,
But
though.
like when you hear things, I'd like to hear a little more Troy Ave. That's all.
You're not flattered by it.
No, after a while, you want to hear the artist. Like I go, okay, cool. The first one was enough for me to tip my hat to him and say, wow, that was a lot, to show a lot of respect in the club joint that he did over. Then the next one, when it comes in, they're both featuring Tony Ayo and Lloyd Banks. Okay, you got the cosign now. Let's hear some Troy Ave, because I want to hear something from you that impresses me, that makes me want to follow you.
But do you like how Tony and Lloyd Banks sound next to Troy Ave?
Good. They actually like his hype man now.
That's a shot, Fifth. You didn't have to
It's
say
not
that.
a shot.
That's
It's
a
Troy
shot.
Ave,
That's
man.
a shot. Them is your
Listen,
people.
let's count the
Them
shots.
is your people.
I said in my people, but they're there as a supporting
It's a
cast to the
feature.
kid. Who you looking to listen to when you listen to a Troy Ave record?
I mean, he does have a point, because when you listen to a Troy Ave record, you want to hear Troy
Oh,
Ave.
yeah, Troy Ave.
Yeah, but-
so those guys are just there to support.
Well,
What?
they jumping on a guy who's doing good work in New York City, and
Okay.
they're
Okay.
supporting good New York rap.
I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm with you.
You sure?
I'm with you.
Because it sounded.
Why did it feel like a shot to you? I was just saying it was
care
support.
about New
Listen,
York at all?
if you're on the record, if the guy's a feature on your record, and you rap twice, and you have the chorus, and he has a verse to aid you, it's cool. A cool collaboration, but he's their support of your song being a hit.
So is that a shot because do you still mess with Tony Ayo or Lloyd Banks?
They'll always
we
be.
saw like a
They're
couple
like my
weeks
little
ago,
brothers.
right? And you're not feeling them right now. They're away in
Yeah,
college. Where
I
are your
like
little
I like
brothers?
for them to work to sustain their interest in the public. So now when you see them putting
So,
stuff
but
out,
there was like the G Unit was deaded. There's no more G Unit.
that Tony did it, unit.
You didn't-
If he can do that, then it's dead.
And you didn't jump in and say, "Why are we deading it?"
No,
You
I'm watching. I just got all that. I got the information like you
Yeah,
got.
but I mean, I'm listening to the old 50 mixtapes where it was like 50.
New 50
Lloyd
Cent,
Banks,
and then you
G-Unit,
heard these other guys' voices that you don't know from nowhere.
right?
To be real, and then they actually
put
got
them
on so fast.
Fifth.
You just said that energy surrounding the material that I created just went so much that it even shifted New York City's hip hop
True.
culture. Now, if they're there, they riding the wave. They don't know what it's like to have to grind
So
to
now,
get the attention from the very beginning.
Well, let me
'cause they-
fast forward because I feel like you dancing me a little.
No, my first release sold 13 million records.
Nah, don't do that.
So they didn't. They
he gonna
felt,
jump to the
They
numbers.
felt
Don't
that
let him do
13
that.
million records sell.
don't.
But
We
did
haven't
you have-
performed.
do that.
We didn't perform in
got to
front of
let it
anybody, any venue that wasn't 15 to 30,000 people per show. So they don't
Okay,
know
so-
what it's like to go.
So did you? So they just rode the wave and then they never learned how to grind properly.
That's what I'm thinking. Now, when
Is
you
that
don't
your
see them
fault, though? Are you
sustain
a
it,
spoiled
That's what
father?
you're thinking. That's what you're saying.
that's what I'm saying. This is my look. I'm trying to figure it out like you're trying to figure it out.
Nah,
right
you
now.
playing
But
us,
come on.
man.
I don't
Come on.
spend all day analyzing this stuff. I think people are crazy. To be honest with you, I think people are crazy. Look,
But you don't take any responsibility for that.
I
Like, if
do.
you have a son-
Maybe I enabled them.
No, you
Maybe
did.
I'm
You
guilty
did.
of that completely. I could be guilty.
You
of
had
that.
great intentions, but
50.
you did enable.
When you're the leader,
Right.
you have to hold certain responsibility.
No, in the neighborhood.
When you're the biggest thing around,
Right.
Hot 97 is the biggest thing around. Rap in New York
Eva.
City is mad at me.
my moral compass is
And I take
connected
that.
to the corner that we come off of. The corner that we come off, if I follow those rules, I'm supposed to kill them now. I'm supposed to hurt them for not following instructions in front of people. The difference is I actually run things the way we run things at that point. But I can't exercise those I can't use those tactics on them because I look at them like my little brothers.
and you would
That's
never
it.
want to hurt them.
But for them to actually say the things that they're actually saying by way of social networking.
What happened the months or years before they said that? Was there loss of communication? You don't deal with them anymore?
No loss of communication. I put Yayo's in. He's in the next music video that's coming out.
With you.
He's in he's in 4 of the 13 videos I shot.
Did you shoot those a year ago, Fifth?
No, I just shot him. I just shot the whole project. Animal Ambition, we just shot all of those songs. He was just there. Then he went home frustrated and said something.
Oh, right. So it was right after that.
Right,
Frustrated
like, I
about
don't know.
what?
I don't know.
Do they have money?
They did, yeah, they did. They made a lot of money.
But do they still? Are they still? Was there ever a payroll? Was there a G Unit payroll where people were on a payroll and now that's dried up?
No, they were on a. They had Reebok deals, and then forgot to wear the shoes. So I stopped paying them.
Come on, don't do that.
No, that's what happened. Like, we had a meeting the top of the year. I brought everybody to come. Didn't tell nobody nothing what the meeting was for. No, nothing when they came. I said, look under the table. No, it was like a few years back. I told them, look under the table, and I'm the only person wearing the G Unit sneaker. Right? When Sean Carter, Jay chose to have basketball players do it. I used mine to actually give them additional money because they weren't commanding enough interest at that point to have the deal on their own. But they still had shoe deals.
It's like when Flex had a Lugs deal, I also got a small check from Lugs.
Right. If you wore the shoes.
No, I did. I got a small check
and you
from
made
Lugs.
Sure you wore them damn shoes. And they were horrible shoes.
I just had to do the commercial.
Those shoes were horrible.
I just had to do the commercial and I showed
But he still wore them.
But as you should.
Right, they was paying them.
And so, all right, so you pulled a meeting. They didn't have on the Reeboks.
Right, so I told my sister, now you understand why you don't actually get a check from Reebok no more. Because I stopped it and I said, now I can spend that money somewhere else. I could actually put it on the basketball court.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or tennis players.
How did they feel about that?
How did they react to that?
Well, people always feel like you're taking something from them when you decide not to continue to give something. It doesn't make sense anymore. Like, it's obvious they realized at that point that no one had them on.
Right.
Because they were getting, like, our culture was changing. Now look, urban clothing, it ain't there. Like, who you see wearing Sean John Rockaway shirt, G Unit shirt? Man, get out of here. They wearing high-end clothing now.
Yeah. Or that, what is that called? Streetwear, skate clothes. Like, I wear skate clothes, but I've been aware of them.
It's high-end stuff, though. It's like either that or like you said, skateboard clothing. Yeah, that's gonna still be there because that wasn't there during that period. It grew after. Right. You know, so it feels new to everyone. And along with the jeans getting tighter, those clothes got cool. Yeah. You know, because that's what it is. The skinny jeans and skateboard clothes.
So there was other situations like them not wearing Reeboks. Other things happened also.
Yeah. But like, that's not what you see now.
But I'm just looking at it as an example of where it broke down.
Well, Banks actually wanted his independence, like artist independence, and I understand it. And it's like, cool, go. Because for the most part, he was missing. Like, think about the actual like altercations or different things that was actually happening. He's like the more silent portion of things. Like, it's almost like he'll be feeling like everybody else, but he won't express it. He won't be vocal. And then it puts him in the background. So when the backlash to all of that energy is there, he don't get it. You see what I'm saying? Like, so this is why Beamer, Benz, and Bentley cuts through, and his record is in that pocket. I mean, you almost felt like he wasn't in the group.
People hold Tony Yayo, Lloyd Banks, like, he's a separate thing. But that's kind of what y'all wanted. That was part of the plan for him.
All of them to be separate entities, not to be connected to.
So you think they should have stopped going on the road with you earlier than they did?
I didn't know how to tell them not to. Yeah, he just didn't. They didn't put out a record. He'll tell you right now, I didn't put out an album in 7 years. But somehow he forgot. For 7 years, his house is $1.3 million. He had 2 cars. He don't think he broke. What you call broke?
Right.
It's not the same thing.
He's broke relative to you.
Yeah. Really broke compared to me. But this is the thing. You can't look at me and say, I'm supposed to give you something. I get up and work for everything I got. Like, it's not
so
like,
you're saying they've been lazy. Right. Let's cut to it.
That's it.
But there's no real permanent friction.
Were they waiting for you to tell them, okay, we need an album by this time?
No.
As label head?
Listen, look. As label head. Tell me what label is responsible for your mixtape.
None.
No labels are responsible for sustaining your interest to the general public. The label is to sell what has the highest probability to sell.
So in the height of the height of 50 Cent after second, third album, whatever, you wish instead of going on the road with you forever and ever, you'd be like, yo, Fifth, I'm not gonna go on this tour. I'm gonna go to the studio and work on some music.
Yeah, well, look, Rakim always performed by himself. Right now, what you see from Kanye West when he go to perform is what?
Him and Jesus.
Okay.
And the Yeti, and the mountain, and those choir.
Right. You can put props and shit to raise the production value. But he's doing the show himself. You think I don't need a hype, man. In actuality, I left it there because it was there to begin with, and it started that way for marketing purposes to take other artists that weren't.
So they didn't jump ship early enough.
Right, and I always ask, where's your next guy? Like I always going, if you saw the format of how I brought 2 guys and turned them into solo artists following me getting off, where's the 2 guys that are around you that's going to turn into the next 2 solo artists from you? And the answer is
said that?
Yeah.
You would ask that question directly?
Yes.
All right.
Look, if you see me I had to go get him. He just put out a tape with 18 cuts, 19 cuts on it. And there's no music videos. If you know now, the music video is visual.
That's
like
all you got.
Immediately after people hear the song on the air, they go to the telephone because that's the device right next to them, to YouTube.
They don't even download the song like that. They just go get the video.
Or they go to YouTube and look and listen to it again to see if they really like it because they hearing it the second or third time right there on their phone. You know, and if you don't have no visuals or nothing is there, all you got is that frozen picture of the 18 different spots with that same picture of your actual mixtape cover.
So you heard it here. 50 Cent takes some responsibility,
right,
for Lloyd Banks,
for
Tony Yayo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way what responsibility? Like a parent take responsibility.
Don't try to son them. Don't try to son them. It's called leadership. You're trying to son them. It's leadership.
Leadership. Okay.
You're the leader.
Now, what responsibility am I taking for him? Like, explain to me
that you didn't encourage them to be independent.
Nah, that's not true. It's not true. Like, it's not. The whole thing was set up for them to go. Look, okay. Now I'm gonna explain something to you, and you're gonna see it real clear, right? Even the listeners gonna know I'm right, Ebro, because you try to say I ruined New York City. I didn't forget that.
No, look, you ain't supposed to. You're supposed to.
Now listen.
That's why you was scared to come up here and talk to me.
Eminem, can you name every member of D12?
No.
Okay. D12. Can you name every member of the Saint Lunatics?
No.
Okay.
There was a guy that
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Murphy Lee.
Murphy Lee.
I'm gonna tell you why you can't name them. It's because they all had to wait to after the second cycle,
right,
of their leader. So Nelly's first album popped, then Nelly's second album popped, and because those albums were hugely successful albums, it took a long time for the record to be over for them to get to the next album. So it was so long that everybody just they became the crew with Nelly. It's like D12 is the crew with M. G-Unit, the first record came out, boom. I forced the G-Unit album to come out.
True.
Interscope didn't want the G-Unit album. They wanted the next 50 Cent record. He just sold 13 million records.
Right.
So I forced that record to come out. It caused Lloyd Banks to sell 3 million records.
True.
Off of the momentum following right off of that. Buck 1.8 million records. Then Ye like 800-something thousand because he couldn't even travel. On parole from the house he did 800,000 pieces. Then you go. Game comes 5 million records. The West Coast hadn't had anything out since Snoop Dogg was like 6-7 years.
Right.
So they supported it in a big way, and you got 5 million records out of that. And then it's like, okay, now we got to work. It's really, look, you're talented when they embrace you for the first time. It's cool. There's a significance in you sustaining your interest through the public because we see these guys come with these one records. The things that they would say is the hottest joint in the club. Chances are,
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That joint ain't gonna sell 500,000 pieces. 500,000 singles.
Yeah.
And it's not, and that's the joint right there. And he gonna be gone. You ain't gonna see him again.
Yeah, there's a ton of those. There's a ton of those records right now.
Right, and it's like up and down Southern Bass markets, they pop out, stand out, and is hands down the hottest joint in the nightclub, and then they gone.
Well, the nightclub is only one aspect of it. You make records that cover
Something
a lot of
right.
other.
Yeah, and
so let me ask you something. Do you, besides the drama and the beef, you respect Game more for leaving when he felt it was time to leave?
Well, I think that was intended, because I don't even know what sparked it. You see what I'm saying? If I had an argument or we had some sort of differences, I would understand it. There was nothing.
So you think it was all premeditated?
Yeah, I think he thinks that's what hip hop is, like that the altercation or the
well,
argument.
it's y'all fault. It's y'all fault that we up here. The reason we're in this room right now is because of y'all shenanigans.
Look at this. Wait, the first thing that happened, he went overseas. His first week numbers came back. He attacked Jay. He said something about Jay because he's supposed to have ran into Memphis Bleak and had some sort of beef, and I didn't know what was going on with that.
I don't even remember this.
And then I'm like,
I remember that.
I came to the radio station. First, I was trying to get in contact with Jay because I was like, he just got off. Like, Jay'll stomp him out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, wait, let me get in contact with him to stop him from going back. I can fix it before it actually happens. And then before I could actually get to him, I went up and he was calling the radio station saying, yo, put me on the air, put me on the. His way of trying to fix that situation was saying, I don't have no problem, not with Jay-Z, not with Memphis Bleek, but I don't have a problem with nobody. I don't have anything to do with that record, Piggy Bank, that 50 Cent got or anything else. So he was trying
to separate from you.
Completely.
Right. And while you just had done his album.
Right. And then it's like, I'm like, all right, well then get rid of him before he even get a chance to make the statement, since he's saying it internally over and over. So I'm not gonna wait for him to say it publicly. You know what I'm saying? And I said it first, and then it got into, that's why we got this office.
Yeah, no, that's why this exists here. It was a snowy night
New York City.
in New York City, and 50 Cent was doing an interview, and somehow someone shot outside the radio station.
Yeah.
Now the real talk, and the way people remember the story is like 50 Cent and Game had some sort of shootout. That never happened.
No, I wasn't even. I was upstairs.
You was upstairs. Everybody, there was nobody outside.
Yeah,
I was 5 minutes away. There was nobody outside by the time I got here, so we don't really know what happened.
It's exactly how, I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, now
Game called me and was like, I wasn't even at the radio station.
Right. So I mean,
really? He said that?
Yes.
It was one of those things.
He said something different on Howard Stern's show.
He did.
Yes.
But he always says something different.
Every time.
He
says different things.
He goes both ways. He goes.
I never knew he did that. But he called me and said that he was absolutely not there because I didn't see anybody.
Yeah, it kind of flip-flops. So, you don't never know what's going on with. Like, he's one of the artists that showed me you don't actually have to have consistency. Because he'll go one way and then completely go the other way, like he bipolar or something. And it's just,
you taking shots again?
Yeah,
was that a shot?
That wasn't a shot. That wasn't a shot, man. You seen it. You know what I'm talking about, man.
So far, it's about 28
What's going
shots.
on? Like this,
28.
I'm trying to get to 50.
If you look, if you guys watch these people do the same things that I'm saying, and then you just take advantage of me. At points, you take advantage of me, and you just say things like, "Was that a shot?" Like,
but all the little, like you're saying what Game did. You don't think you spawn that behavior? You always, like, every time you came out, you kind of would go at somebody. There was
how to rob.
Listen,
how to rob is
how to rob.
Right, that was desperation. That was desperation.
So you admit that at that moment when you dropped How to Rob, they had blackballed just to set the tone.
I was already out.
They blackballed you from the music industry.
Yeah, I was out. I was already out the game. There was no way getting in. And what I was doing was I was putting a record there to saying, well, look, because that was my first impression. You don't get a second chance at the first impression. Right now, to this point, when Kendrick decides he's going to write these guys down and tell them he's going to be competitive with them, even though he's worked with them, the only thing you can make reference to with that is how to rob move. And he's doing it not out of, it doesn't feel like it felt when I did it, because
he's not making gangster rap.
It was taboo. It was almost taboo to mention someone's name on a record.
Yeah.
During the How to Rob period, because of the Biggie Tupac situation.
There was that, but there was also where you're someone coming from the street and you're saying on record that I'm going to take something from you at gunpoint.
Because they got everything and I had nothing. Why is this a hard concept?
It's not a hard concept.
We're just trying to set the landscape for what you're responsible for.
We understand the concept and why you did it and why it worked for you, but we're letting you know, look deeper and look what it spawned. Look at the attitude.
It spawned the greatest moments in hip hop.
True. Yeah, but
wasn't it one of those moments to Kendrick when Kendrick just says that it stops? It feels like everything just froze, right? Because it was like, whoa, hold up. They was just going kumbaya, my lord, by the fire,
is it a drug?
And the boy just jumped out there and said, "Look, if you don't get yours together, you ain't gonna make it next album."
But okay, so was it a drug? You had that big pop when you dropped How to Rob, and you're like, I like the feeling of how I just popped off and froze hip hop. Let me do it again, and then let me do it again. Then you went at Ross, then Cam, then you went at these certain people. Like every time you had a project come in, there's a little beef.
Anybody who's watched my career, like, you gotta watch the strategists that's involved in our actual game. Like, if you ask Jay, he'll tell you that you shouldn't really count me out.
You personally,
right?
Okay,
and it's only because when I'm in the worst possible situations, the worst scenario ever, he can already see that I was coming.
Well, let's fast forward. Let's remove money from the conversation because you're doing very well financially.
Yeah.
where do you feel you're at right now musically?
That's what the financial part is not even a part of it.
Okay, because good. Let's just get into hip hop.
But the way they turn it, they turn their nose up at you because you actually have money, right?
And hip hop for sure,
just within our culture. And then now, if you say this, you go, that's like there's things about it that I don't understand. Like they'll go, if anything is a little more advanced than what you've seen in the presentation before, that they go, that ain't cool. Like when you start to see just the artist's interest bleed into what he's writing about. Like you see J.O. write more about art and stuff like that now. But ain't this what he's supposed to be into at this point?
Yeah, he's older. He's
right.
older.
So now,
very rich.
And when he's doing it, half the time he'd be saying something, and I go, "Oh, okay," because a lot of it I'm not really into it, and then I'll be aware of it because he said it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So
like,
he kind of puts you up on certain things.
All of us. Like all of us would be put up on. If we get into something that's completely different culturally, and we start using terminologies and things into it, we're in each other's lives without asking each other to be in it. If you pay attention to it, if you're actually a part of it, then you pay attention enough to hear those things, and you go, okay, like I'm not walking around galleries to figure out who's who.
Right.
And when you hear it, I make note. I put that. It's a mental note. Oh, okay.
Like Google something?
No, it's just I'll have it, and then later if it comes up across or in conversation, I go, yeah, I remember that. I remember Jay was talking about that. Oh, this was this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll just be there because it's already something that came through our culture. Like if it's not like Lil Boosie's life is not a part of my day to day, but I'm aware of it and connected to it because he's a part of our culture.
Right. I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like it's just, it is what it is. Like, so it's like, it's little things that come out and you go, okay, that's cool. It may not feel cool to other artists because they haven't made it to that point yet where they start thinking about different things. And it coming into your actual lyrics because it's new content, it's new interest.